Meanwhile, former U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry says he's confident that Kenya will rise after tomorrow's general election. Mr. Kerry, who is also the head of the International Observer Mission for the election, calls for leaders to provide a credible atmosphere. Also speaking about this is Senegalese Prime Minister, former Prime Minister Aminata Touré.
Express our admiration for the efforts of the judicial branch of the government of Kenya that has done so much work over these months in order to resolve disputes and provide a legal process that can give confidence to the vote tomorrow. In the end, it is up to Kenyans to make this choice, and it is up to the people of Kenya and the leadership here to provide the atmosphere within which this is a peaceful election. And we all will do our part to observe and to try to give confidence to people about it.
Let's talk more about this. Joining us is a journalist from Kenya, Teddy Otieno. Thank you for your time on Network Africa.
Very good evening to you in studio.
Right. What's the mood like in Kenya today, barely 24 hours to the election? What are the people saying?
Well, Kenyans are confident that they will go to the ballot with, peace in their minds, that they're really focused on electing visionary leaders. Just from a few samples that we got to actually discuss with these particular, just from morning all the way till evening, we've just been sampling a few views from Kenyans. And, right now it's quite peaceful. There's a capital, Nairobi, is experiencing some little bit of lesser traffic because most of the people have actually traveled up country to go vote. And it's quite peaceful at the moment.
How prepared are the electoral officials for this election, the all-important election?
Well, first and foremost, IBC Chief Executive Officer, who is the Electoral Agency Chair, Ezra Chiloba, and one of the commissioners, Rosalina Kombe, have just issued a press statement where they've affirmed, and they stated that the commission is ready for the election, and just by that, they've already trained all the, all the clerks that are needed for the elections, all the returning officers that are needed for the elections, all the polling officers who are needed for the elections, and they're saying that if all systems go, that once Kenyans wake up tomorrow, all systems will be ready for the elections.
What are the candidates doing to calm their supporters, Teddy, with growing fears that violence could, possibly mar the process?
Just to mention real quick, right before we get to that, is that, candidates are not allowed to campaign at least 2 days prior to the election. And for that particular reason, we have not seen many of them coming out and talking about the elections. But we saw some of them actually, the leading candidates, the presidential race, some in the gubernatorial race, some in the senatorial race. They've been urging their supporters to come out in large numbers. There have been quarters from the opposition noting that there could be a plot by the government just to curtail the freedom of the voters in the particular regions to actually go ahead and vote. So they really come out strong. They've released press releases, and they're talking about having their supporters out there. One of the opposition leaders, Musalia Mudavadi, who is actually in the NASA team led by Raila Odinga, stated this afternoon that they will be there on the ground tomorrow to ensure that their supporters are, security is up to standard. So they actually called out on their supporters to be out in large numbers tomorrow. The same has been stated by President Uhuru Kenyatta as well.
There are also fears, Teddy, that the election could possibly be rigged. Now, these are allegations that the elections could be rigged by the incumbent. How is he reacting to this?
Well, this came from the opposition quarters, and just like I mentioned earlier, there's been communication from the opposition team, alleging that the elections could be rigged. There was a statement noting that, they're looking at the government is collaborating with the military to ensure there is ballot stuffing, where we will have excess ballots in particular regions. And number two, this was actually brought about by the, assumption that the government is also planning to close down the system, that is supposed to monitor all this, so that by virtue of doing so, it allows space for ballot stuffing. But then the government has allayed these fears, stating that just by the security officials themselves, the Kenya Defence Forces have stated that neither the Cabinet Secretary for Interior Coordination and Government or nor the counterpart at the security docket have what it takes constitutionally to actually give them such a directive to go ahead and collaborate with the government to carry on such a mission. So the government is denying this report, but the opposition is strongly putting it out there. There is a plot to rig. But then they're standing firm on the ground, saying they will get their votes by all means necessary.
Right. Very quickly now, Teddy, we're running out of time. I must ask you this allegation. So where there are fears that, women are not participating enough, only 16% of women are participating in the polls for tomorrow. Is this their choice, you think, or they didn't make the selection process in their parties?
Well, contrary to that, these elections could actually see the first female governors in the country because we have the likes of Anwai Guru, Martha who are running for top seats that is in the gubernatorial race. And of course, most of them are also throwing their backs at the MPs, the women representative. We had Nazlin Omar, who made a stint to the presidency, but then according to IBC, she didn't meet the cut as set by IBC. So we're seeing an improvement in the numbers. We're seeing women coming out strong. We have the likes of Wavinya Ndeti, who's running to the Machakos governor's seat. We have the likes of Cecily Mbarire, who also running for top seats as well. Joyce Labos is wrestling one of the political strongholds in Bomet County, who is NASA leader. Isaac Ruto is among the principals. But of course, this is actually showing that women are coming out strong.
Right, thank you for your time on Network Africa. Journalist Teddy Otieno speaking to us from Nairobi, Kenya there. Well, coming up on Network Africa, South Africa school teaches children and youth various disciplines of circus arts, including acrobatics, trapeze and juggling.